Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. This is made for agents, team leaders who have 3 or more on their team. And you guys gave me some great topics to talk about, which we'll get into a little bit. First of all, if you heard Inslee last night, basically it's going to start easing up a few things. Contractors, hopefully in the next few days, will ease up. Then fishing, golf, some of those kind of things. I think we're going to be home for a while, but that's okay. We seem, the shock and awe seems to be over of all this, and are people getting back to the new normals of what real estate is and what life is. What's been interesting, this last week, don't forget, I look at the whole multiple. This is the first time today, yesterday and today, we've been over 2,100 pendings. So today we have 2,147 pendings, which has probably been the highest since maybe the first week of March, I'm guessing, okay? Now new listings, you're only at 1,117. And then 548 price reductions. And we run into 80 to 90 contingencies now a week, okay? So what you have to understand is you're gonna be in a listing shortage for a while for a few things. First of all, you still have sellers who are waiting on the sidelines, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You have builders who haven't been able to build or haven't been building, and there was a shortage anyway. So you have that going on. And now you have landlords who would really maybe like to come to the market, but they can't really evict their people now. So you're going to realize this shortage, and you're in the spring summer market right now. You are in the spring summer market right now, because if you look at how this virus can play out, yes, they're going to open it up a little by little. People will go out. Virus will probably spike because now we're interacting, but hopefully they have the healthcare systems and the hospitals to handle that. People now, they've been in their homes like a month and a half, 2 months by the time you get through this process. So some people, like I talked to a few of my friends, you know, first of all, a lot of my friends, don't forget boomers, they don't know we're working, right? First of all, they don't know there's business happening. And those two things seem to be pretty random. We're in the business, so we know this, but that seems to be pretty consistent right now. But you're gonna have now clients who've been in their homes now 6-8 weeks. They're finding, you know, I'm gonna go spend some money now because life's too short. I'm gonna buy a house. I'm not going on vacation for a while. We need 2 home offices. Maybe now I'm not gonna put my parents in a nursing home. I'm gonna buy a house with them and maybe buy 2 different upstairs, downstairs, or whatever, right? I want a yard now. I want a bigger house now. I want to be away now to the burbs now. Habits are going to change. People are going to change. And you got to realize we still have thousands and thousands of people who are buying houses every month because of the economy we have, right? Because you still have Amazon and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not going to go into that too much. But right now, between now and really the next 6 months, you're in the spring summer market right now. And people are going to move because of school districts. Older people like to move when it's warmer out. So you got it all kind of going on, and it's busy out there. When you have 2,147 pendings and only 1,100 listings, that's why you got so many multiple offers going on and will continue to go on in certain price ranges. Now on the east side, I know 2.5 million up is a little bit more challenging, especially as I talk to like Mark at J Mark Homes and stuff. So, you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on. It's busy. And I think right now we got a lot of topics that we want to go over. And so I'm just kidding. This is really kind of, my goal is just to kind of facilitate this thing, but bring up the topics that you want to bring up. And then we can kind of take it from there. First of all, why don't we just talk about a little bit, take about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. How are you experiencing the market? Robin, how are you experiencing the market right now with buyers, sellers, and business?
It's good. I'm on track to beat Q2 last year. So it's more calls, more connections. The people that we're connecting with, you've got to reach more. We got a hold of telemarketed basically to find a lender who could help those who just prepared for a rainy day, but not a storm like this. And right. Saying that helps people not feel guilty or badly that they haven't saved properly. And then Umpqua is able to do let people pull equity out of their home. And they'll do that with a letter from the boss stating they'll hire the people back. So even when they're not working right now. So that gives us a positive something to offer as we're calling through to people. So we're working to get those calls made. And again, it's just more connections to find those that want to sell today. But like, I mean, Rosie said it great last meeting. You know, why aren't those my sellers? Why aren't those my, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
We didn't catch them, so we've got to catch them first.
Cool. Ramon, how are you experiencing the market?
Good. You know, making my calls, a lot of people have certainly a lot of questions about, the market and keeping it on a positive note. I'm just kind of calling around, and people are struggling, and I'm hearing all kinds of different stories. And sometimes after a few calls, I just, realize I've got to get back to it tomorrow.
Right.
But for the most part, I think that, at least the CMAs that I put out last week, people are interested in wanting to know. Investors, fourplex and duplexes down in Tacoma, they're coming out and wanting to just see what are we going to do, because there are a few of them. I have one on a fourplex that is with rental issues. So yeah, the things that we're hearing is all pretty much the same, but keeping it on a real positive note with everybody and just being a good ear, just listening.
Okay, Rosie, how are you experiencing the market?
We're having bidding wars. We did 4 sales last weekend alone. The bidding wars is the norm. I haven't found too many places where it's not bidding war. I've got one that is $760 in the Renton Highlands. That one's not getting much activity, but so then we're gonna have to drop the price. And so it's all about pricing and condition, and the same as any spring market. So I haven't felt a difference. We're doing multiple sales.
And that's something. Castro, how are you experiencing the market?
To me, it feels like it's the wintertime market or the holiday market, where people are distracted by something, but the motivated buyers and sellers are still out there. I am experiencing multiple offers, not only for more so for my buyers at certain price ranges. The price ranges that we're getting a lot of multiple offers are like 500,000 and less. Yeah.
First time buyer.
Yeah, first time buyers are still definitely having to compete.
Hey, Paul McKay, how are you experiencing the market?
Just putting up a sold strip. It's good. It's fun. It's multiple interest in anything under $1 million. Tentative stuff over $1 million in Renton. But they're out there.
Okay. Mr. Van Pelt, how are you experiencing the market right now?
Most of my time has been spent on problem solving with my Des Moines listing.
Your pending deals?
Pardon?
Your pending deals?
Yeah, it's a problem building. But anyways, other than that, spending a lot of time texting past clients and customers, and the texting seems to be getting a lot of responses just as far as connecting.
Cool.
So I've just been focusing on connecting with past clients.
Now it shows I have 16 participants, but I can't see everybody who's on. Brad, are you on the phone? Brad?
Yeah,
Yeah, how are you experiencing the market, Brad?
we're definitely seeing multiple offers on all of our buyer purchases. Obviously, our listings are a little bit slow for showing, but we're putting deals together, and we're just trying to find more leads.
Cool. Now I can't see anybody else. All it says is 16 participants, but these are all the names I'm seeing. Anybody else want to chime in? Okay. Well,
That's Josh.
Hey.
I would say we're slow on our buyer leads. Like I feel like we're having a good kind of seller leads are still coming in the door from our farm aliens and stuff, but our new buyer leads for Jeff to work, I would say I'm feeling we're a little lighter on that than I would like to be. And then the other thing, just kind of the battle of this right now is just the staying engaged. I know for me, I have 3 young kids at home, so I'm actually at the office working today because I knew it's going to be raining today, so they'd all be inside all day. Like, okay, I got to go to the office.
you gotta go to work. Cool. Castro, you on this thing?
I am on this thing.
Okay. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
So kind of dovetail into to Josh's thing. You had a virtual buyer seminar last Saturday.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that? How many people signed up? How many buyer leads you got for you and your buyer agent?
We did a virtual home buyers class, like Sol said. We marketed it on social media for 2 weeks. We had 51 RSVPs. We had almost 30 show up. A part of me feels like the people that weren't able to attend, some of them may have had trouble trying to get into maybe their first Zoom experience. And so we're going to do a how-to video to just make sure that people are actually getting into the class. But it lasted about 2 hours. We got 3 people that day that asked to be pre-approved. And then we plan on doing another one, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Castro, did you record that by chance?
We did.
Okay.
Would like to see that.
Out.
Do you mind
Yeah.
sharing that, Jeff?
What was that?
Do you mind sharing your video recording?
Yeah, you know, one thing I will say, it's 2 hours long, guys.
There you go.
It's 2 hours long. And you know what? The thing that surprised me the most, though, because there's definitely tweaks that we need to make from it. Because I started the video by, I was like, man, I feel like I'm talking into a dark tunnel because nobody's able to like say anything back to me, right? But surprisingly, only like 2 or 3 people dropped off, but everybody stayed on the whole time.
Okay. So if you will share that, that'd be awesome. Now Jeff's gonna do another one a week from this Saturday, and then he'll be on a mastermind with me the week after. Okay.
Yeah.
John, bye. You on this thing?
Hey,
Yeah,
Sol,
man.
before
Sol.
you go to John, we have a
Yeah.
request from Rosie.
Yeah.
She wants you to set to gallery view so you can see everybody. So I need to tell you how to do that.
Who, me?
In your upper right corner, hover your mouse. Do you see where it says gallery view?
Nope.
You kind of want to just move your mouse around the screen a little bit and you'll see it in the right corner there. It'll be a white text. It'll say gallery view.
Full
Speaker
screen.
view.
Gallery view. There we go.
There we
Oh
go.
my God, there you guys are.
There we go.
Now I can ask questions. So
So
John,
good.
bye. How are you experienced in the market?
You know, it's interesting. I'm seeing some stuff that's super hot and other stuff that's a little lukewarm. It's just kind of all across the board. I feel like there's some people they're really excited and seizing the opportunity. There's a lot of buyers out there right now that can, some of this stuff is slow. It's interesting, like what Bradley was saying. It's like I feel very similar to him. Like my buyer agents are scratching and clawing, fighting on every deal. But I'm like, why are they not at our properties? What's going on? We got some really good stuff that's on market. So, I think that obviously the exciting inventory and this stuff that's priced really well and looks really clean is going to go. There's plenty of demand, so it's either you got to educate the clients. Do you want to be patient or do you want to sell? Because it's either one or the two. It's not really in the middle right now.
Janie Lee, how are you? You got to
Unmute myself. Okay, I am so far doing good in communicating with buyers. I have about 6 or 7 investors that they don't want to put their monies at the bank. They want a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at commercials and good deals, 2 or 3 units, apartments.
How we hear from China?
Oh, the buyers are from, now I have a lot of client that bought, the Chinese client, they want to sell.
Now they want to sell.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Why?
Nick and Chelsea, how you guys experiencing the market right now? Nick, go.
Yeah, haven't really changed a whole lot. We're still putting properties on. We still have new buyers coming into the mix. We can't really prospect the way we used to in terms of visiting our referral partners like face to face. So we need to do a better job of figuring out how to stay connected like this kind of way. But beginning good traffic. Haven't seen multiple offers per se in our listings, but I know we've had to go up against multiple offers for some of our buyers. So.
Okay. Jane Lee.
Hold on a second. So
Oh, go ahead.
did Nick shave a mohawk, or is this like hair?
This has
just
been the Mr. T
having a baby?
child-induced stress mohawk for
Daddy
like
hawk.
a year and a half.
Daddy hawk.
You're late to the game, Lex.
Hot.
Janie Lee, Rosie wants to know, why are your Chinese investors selling now?
They bought multiple properties and
Right.
they worried about renters won't be able to pay rent.
There you go. See what you guys, we're in a whole place we've never been before. When you have the government shutting everybody down, shutting off, right? Landlords don't have to pay. Renters don't have to pay. People who have loans, they can get forbear.
Right?
You
What
got a
the
lot going
fuck?
on right now that you just have to be aware of. You have different buckets going on in your database. You have people who are going to stay forever, like I'm staying forever, right? But if you reach out to me, then I want to be engaged with you. I would be gifting right now, like your top people. We'll talk about here in a little bit. You're going to be top of mind now more than ever, and they're going to know how you made them feel more than ever, right? So you have people like me who are going to stay here forever. You have people who need to refinance, and they're going to love you forever because you saved them thousands a year, if it makes sense for them. Their referrals will come in. You have buyers and sellers who will do things now. Then you have a whole different group over here, sellers who are in their home furloughed or forbearance, don't know if they're going to go back to their job or not go back to the job. That either will sell and buy later or have to sell later. Then you got a whole stack of landlords, either out of state or in state, who are going to want to sell once this thing might be over because they might have to. So you got a lot going on in this game plan that we've never had before because the economy is shut down. They've never shut down an economy, and for the right reasons. We understand this whole virus thing. I'm not going to go there. So one question that probably comes up more than any, and some of you guys can definitely help here. What are you doing with your teams to keep each team member productive, not busy, each team member productive so you're getting a good return on time and energy, right, on that? And what are you doing with costs? So these are kind of things that some of you definitely have, that's probably one of the more popular questions right now. So who wants to jump in on that? What are we doing with keeping each team member busy so they're home? So, they got kids at home, so they got to align their schedule with that. I got that part. But what are some of the things we're doing for that? Who wants to jump in? Then I'll just start picking.
Well, we're doing production, so they're not sitting home idle. So we're still business as usual on our end.
Okay.
Obviously working on your database, categorizing things, taking your continuing education classes. Those are the things that we can work on when we're slow, but we haven't been slow yet, except for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
The panic of the shutdown, and then they took the cuffs off. Then we were back in action again.
Okay. Anybody else? What are you doing to keep your team busy? John Byatt, what are you doing to keep each team member busy and productive?
Well, the big thing is we're still doing our team meetings every morning. So we just do a call that's similar to this, and everybody still outlines their rocks for the day. So you have tasks, right? I think the biggest thing is if you don't have that day started with the team meeting, then you're going to be completely toast. And I just realized that there's some of us that are really busy, like myself and Hope, like we've been grinding because our pipelines continue to be full. We've got to close a lot of deals, and my guys are still out showing property. But for the other staff members that are kind of doing more of the, I think fluff is probably the wrong word to use, but it's more like PR campaigny type stuff. And we just can't do as much of that right now. So that piece has been challenging. So I've just been doing my best, having them read books, having them do CE, one's getting their license right now. And really at the end of the day, just being okay with knowing that I'm just paying some extra money for a little while right now because I'm going to need everybody once we are all back in office, and I can't afford to lose anybody.
Okay. Who else?
Tom Ferry's got the Sales Edge,
Right.
which is basically role playing and skills. It's cheap. It's only $199 for 8 to 5 next week. I'm sending Esty to that. He's super excited. So, and that's just role play and good sales skills that they, if anyone's been there, a lot of it's action. So you do a role play and then he has you actually get on the phone and follow it up. So even for those on the core, just switching it up with a different way to look at it. It's open to everybody. That may be something you look at for teams. I moved my ISA back from full-time to part. She's in the Philippines and it just wasn't right. I can't have her call my database. I just never feel, those are my people. It seems weird. If I really cared, wouldn't I pick up the phone versus ask somebody else? It doesn't seem weird. So she still does some of her calling within her 4 hours to the expireds and the FSBOs that are there, canceled. But we pulled her time back that way.
Okay. Anybody else cutting costs or jobs? Some of you guys have cut Moncord out and transaction coordinating.
Okay. I had Stephanie help me with the Christmas cards, labels, the address, and we get that ready. So by Thanksgiving, we will be ready ahead of time.
Yeah.
Trying to find things to do to get prepared.
It's funny you say that because, this is kind of home for the holidays is going to come early this year. If they talk about now in the news, a second virus thing by flu season and winter season, home for the holidays, we can start using the closes now.
That's right. This is actually a great time to show because buyers are very serious buyers only. Because if they want to go out to sea, this is very more apt that they will make an offer. So I prepared an offer last week. They decided not to buy it after we negotiate the price. They want a deal.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you doing with your team? You doing anything with your buyer agent or your assistant?
You know, my challenge with my my showing agent is she does not have a database. Yeah, I think she has like 10 people in her database. So right now, I mean, we were doing cold calling anyways using Mojo. And so I have her still on that, calling, you know, circle prospecting listings, prospecting neighborhoods that our buyers want to move into.
Right.
And I mean, it's just really, my thing is just keeping them in action. That's kind of where I want to reach out to you guys and see specifically what kind of actions are you having your team members do? Because right now I'm kind of, yeah, I'm reaching a little bit at times. So.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm curious, with her only 10 people on her list, that's definitely a project she can be working on. That's gold, is beef up her database. She's got to know more than 10 people in her world.
Yeah, and you know, it's been, you know, telling her reach out to people on your social media. I mean, if you have 10 friends on social media, that's a problem. And so whoever you're friends with on social media, start DMing them. And so she's doing that. It's yeah, I'm seeing some fear in my showing agent. You know, she is green, and so getting her mindset is the first task, and then everything else is just action.
Hey, Jeff.
The housing market, have you guys watched that 1 hour housing market? They've got graphs on it. The graphs are usable. And I think having good data based information, it's an hour, but I'm having SD also watch that each week.
Where is that, Robin?
I'll send the link to
Please.
Sol. So, well, I'll send it to Colin.
I'll send it to Colin. John By, what were you going to say?
Jeff, my thought was in there is the one thing that we have to realize when we're assigning tasks to our team members is you have to have it be very specific. If you tell them to go increase your database, well, what's a win? Is one is increase, right? So like for me, it's like 10 a day. Like you can find 10 people. Like, so whatever it is, like, you know, so we set 2-week goals with everybody, and it's personal and business. But I think that, you know, for her, or, you know, if you're having a team member that's looking to build their database, like you got to give a numerical number around it so they know what's a win, and then they can strive for something. Because if you don't have anything to strive for, like they're more than likely not going to do it.
I got it. Perfect. Now, John, what would you say is a good number to strive for if you had somebody like this on your team?
10 a day. Like you can do, like, what else are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you have how many contacts you have on your phone, right? Just text all those people and be like, hey, like I want to keep you updated on all this craziness that's going on. Send me your address and your email.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For like when I've obviously brought on new team members, I always just tell them just to print their actual Facebook list and then go through their cell phone, and then anything that's missing, you can get 90% of that information off of truepeoplesearch.com. It doesn't cost you any money, names, phone numbers, emails, past address, and you just have them get that in. But they can't.
What is it? What.com?
truepeoplesearch.com.
truepeoplesearch.com.
Thanks, Bradley.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I think one thing that kind of tied in with what Jeff was saying too is you have to remember too, like we've all been in this for a long time, right? And we've kind of had to build up the mental toughness and the mental kind of stamina to get through these types of markets. But sometimes the people on our team haven't, right? So, you know, trying to kind of keep them from freaking out, for lack of a better term, and keep them engaged on the work on a daily and weekly basis. I think that's something I'm struggling with, and part of it is probably not doing like what John's doing as far as everybody on a Zoom call every morning to kind of keep everybody engaged as we're going through this. That's probably something I can do better at.
So Jeff, is your showing assistant bonus off production or just salary?
Bonus off production.
So that should be the motivation too, that you can stuff or he beefs up her database. That's just a numbers game for her. It's a dollar sign on every name you put in your database.
Got it. Okay,
So
perfect.
You gotta, you know, going through this a few times in 45 years, what I understand is during times like this, I have to overload my staff all the time. When I learned that I have to overload Jim, or shy or Colin, right? They have enough, but they're always going to step up to whatever you give them. The more you give them, the more they step up. But when they're home, especially now and lingering, it's very easy to settle down to a 20, 25-hour week, even though you're paying them for 40. So you got to really load them up on everything. If you're not in every John L. Scott tool, if you're not anything and everything, you only got a one-time shot here for, maybe a few weeks or whatever time we're in this thing. But I learned I had to overload anybody and everybody. I do that usually in all markets, especially now, because they're going to come out strong on the other side. You got to realize you guys will increase market share on the other side. There's going to be thousands of agents who don't make it to the other side because they didn't have an organized database. And of course, if I'm a new agent, I made it off open houses, door knocking, those kind of things are out the door, right? People like you, if you do this right, the market share is going to increase dramatically by you guys, right? If you're doing this right. But you can't be idle right now. There's no wiggle room here. This is not a staycation, but it is a staycation to your team if you're not on top of it. If you're not managing each one of them, what's their goals for the next 90 days, personally and professionally? Let them plan a vacation. Even though we're going to be a staycation, let them have, what are you planning for you guys too? What are you doing for fun with your family? Right now I keep 30-day goals. I'm down to a daily goal, what do I want to get done for the week in the hit list. That's kind of the whole team runs on a daily hit list goal, right? Just like you guys, how many appointments you want to talk to, how many calls you want to talk to. Each team member has to have that kind of hit list too. The more you give them, the more hold you accountable to, the more they're going to show up doing. Well, I'm going to let you guys free flow a little bit. Who else wants to ask a question or feedback? Rosie, you're in.
I was just going to say, you touched on something that reminded me. We've been working on having my whole team go through the UCL labs at John L. Scott. When's the last time you did that? There's so many new changes and some powerful tools, and we weren't utilizing all of them because we didn't stop long enough to understand what they do or take the seminar. So have your staff go through all I think there's 10 video labs.
Right now we had a stat out there that I got from Emmanuel from January 1st to March 12th. In John L. Scott, 346 listings were taken that came from buy side, one or the other. Out of the 346, 46 were Kent North. I don't have Renton's numbers, right? But the buy side, market insights, it all works. It's just using top of mind in different ways to your peeps. And most people are pulling back on marketing. I sure went. I got this simple mail out, multiple offer in only 3 days, pending, offered at $550, $74,950. Something COVID.
Who mailed that to you in my farm? Who is that?
No, this isn't my farm. One of my rentals. It was very simple that it showed me there was multiple offers in 3 days in today's market. Everyday America doesn't know this. I wouldn't use the word pending because some people know what that means. I put sold. I know that's whatever. But some of us, if it's me in the market today, knowing what I know, I'm going after people that are not in my Facebook, not in my email. I'm mailing out to my farm, where you got your farm, but areas that I want to control, just sold, because no one's mailing to them. Everyone's pulling back, and they don't know there's activity. This is just simple stuff that I go to. I'm gonna let you guys free flow. Who wants a question or something to brainstorm? Or else I'll go back to my list. Rosie, go.
Okay, so just to tag on what you were saying. So the one thing I took out of my budget was the postcards like you just got. But what I did is I went to our title company, and for my farm, they will give me for a really low number. I think it was like 150. Bradley, you just looked at it so you can confirm that number or not, but they would give you the email addresses that they have for the farm. So now I could send a free email to them, and it's not the expensive postcard distribution.
Yeah, so you just touched some different ways. Paul McKay had a question. Does anybody know if new home sites are doing by appointment only right now?
What?
On-site agents?
They're staffing.
Oh,
I heard a rumor that they're staffing a house, and then they're advertising private appointments during certain hours.
Yeah, Toll Brother just came up with 2.99 30-year fixed.
Yeah, I saw
They're
that.
gonna start moving some of their stuff. So
Yeah,
who else
we've been
wants
talking to are sitting there waiting for people to show up, even though it's by appointment. They just have to call at the door.
Yep.
So who else wants to ask a question or brainstorm something, or else I can go back to the list?
I was just going to piggyback Rosie. Like, obviously, it's Old Republic title that is giving out that. email list, and we did 1,700 homeowners in Maple Valley. It cost me $70, and one of the things that what's that?
$17?
Yeah.
70.
Even
For how many? For how big is the list?
So it's 1,700 homes for $70, and we ended up getting out of that 1,700 sellers, we ended up getting 529 email addresses. And so, I know a lot of us have these big teams like Rosie, our team's in production, but I do have an admin, right, who is doing more of like our core forms and keeping me on schedule and managing the calendar and the lead tracker. But during the slow time, all she's doing is going to bradleyhansengroup.com, clicking the home valuation, putting in their first name, last name, email address, and sending that out. And we've been I think we're down to like 150 entries, but then taking all of those emails and putting those on the automated email campaign. So, they're getting their relocation email, the housing update, they're getting their home valuation, there's a tip one, and then of course there's a holiday one. So they're getting 5 emails from John L. Scott that we don't even have to come up with the content. And then I'm sure Rosie, she's been sharing some of her long, meaty emails that you can send those to. But for $70 to get 500 new contacts, like I think that is like no brainer, as Sol would say.
That's gold.
Mine was $150 for 8,000 database.
We're just going to take over the world, guys. That's the goal here, the real estate world, George, I know you had a few questions. Which one would you like to pop up and brainstorm?
Sure. Well, I had a tenant-occupied seller that was asking, how do they go about listing their house when there's a tenant in it? And so I wanted to throw that out to the group because, we were discussing the tenant is in the home until the end of July. The seller would like to list it prior to that, but obviously is, sensitive to the situation. So are you guys, how are you guys handling those types of situations where you have tenant occupied property?
Anybody?
Depends on the demand level for that property. So a lot of my clients that are in apartments would love to be able to pre-buy something and then move into it after the tenant moves out. So there is it just depends, I think, on the demand for that area.
How about showing the property? That's kind of the trick.
The property?
Yeah, I mean, how do you say to the tenant, hey, we want to open your house up to be able to have people come and look at it?
How would you guys handle that?
I guess
I
first ask if the
I think that you just take the proper precautions. I think you do the video tour, Matterport tour, all that stuff. If you got to force somebody to watch those, check out the tour before you go, that might, put some guidelines in place. And if you have somebody sign the form or whatever that states that your people are not sick, you might have to take some extra precautions. But man, if you want to try to get stuff on the market or act like it's a lot of times when we're selling multifamily stuff, you can't even view it until you have an offer. So it's like, hey, just write it up. And if somebody's super serious, then you work on getting them through. But I try to come to market, get them, sign them up.
So George, are they paying their rent, the renter?
Yep.
I'd come on the market before they stop paying.
Yeah.
Then you got a whole different set of rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, George, Annie Fitzsimmons actually had a video on the Washington Realtors YouTube channel on that exact topic this week.
Ah, okay.
So if you want to go check that out, she directly addressed that.
Yeah, I was just curious to know, like, the liability or, if there's any legal.
If they're paying their rent, you just handle like a normal rental. You just have to coordinate the showing so you're everyone's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I feel like if they were elderly, that'd be more of a concern to try and accommodate like elderly tenants, but hopefully they're not that.
So let me ask you a question. You got a house. Would you put it on the market? You own it. Would you put it on the market now or would you wait? Rosie, what would you do?
Now. And so
Robin. Now or what? Now. Nick.
Now.
I would probably jump on now.
Jeff.
Now.
Win.
Now.
John.
Now.
Ramon.
No.
George.
Yeah, definitely now.
Chelsea.
If it's under $1 million, it's going on now.
Lee.
Okay, on.
Brad.
That was my question.
Brad.
It depends.
It depends. Josh.
No,
No. What would you wait for, Josh?
I'm never selling them. That's what you taught me.
Good answer.
All those properties, baby. Now you're glad you have them. Hey, here's the deal, guys. First of all, you have to realize we don't have to have all the answers because nobody does, right? Some of us sometimes get in the thing, we have to be able to tell these buyers or sellers, well, what am I going to do? I would give, like they want us to have the crystal ball. All I'd be telling this seller right now is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, all I can tell you right now what's in the marketplace, we have a shortage of listings in your price range. And we're seeing multiple showings and activity. I can't tell you where we're going to be a month from now, 3 months from now, because we don't know where this virus is going. But the buyers are motivated now. They want to move this time of year. This is their spring market. Well, none of us know where tomorrow is, right?
Right.
So
I think too, to speak to that question, I think that there's a lot of people that are holding off on listing until the environment clears up. So to me, it seems like there's an opportunity for a low inventory market to still sell and do really well. But if you wait until things are calm again, I feel like there's going to be a wave of listings that are all going to hit at around the same time. And so I just see that inventory could really spike in the coming months. So I think that if a seller's willing and serious, they should sell now where we still have low inventory.
yeah. So we're all there. So then who has anything else? And if someone else wants to brainstorm before I just keep going? You guys got all the answers.
These books, you guys, are so cheap. I don't get any spiff on it, but we're getting these ready to set out for Mother's Day in really high-end envelopes that look like a gift when they get the envelope. So that's a cheap, easy gift for anybody out there, right? So 544 ways to stay upbeat during downbeat times. And the message that we're sending with it is what a great teaching lesson it is for all of us to be the ones who share these ideas with others that we know on how to maintain a good positive attitude when the going gets tough, because we all have tough times. But if kids don't learn that we all have tough times and we have to have a pool of things we know how to do that make us feel better, then they don't know how to pull their own heads out.
That'd be gifting big time now. They're going to remember that more than ever right now if you're gifting.
Hey, I had emailed Jim this morning some signs from back in the day I thought we should bring back. Remember the signs that said like open house every day, call for times?
Right.
Oh, good one.
I was thinking about that because right now, like I just came in the office here, was picking up these signs that General Scott provided that say open to view, one client at a time, or private showings only, call for appointment. I feel like those are kind of like stay back almost kind of a little bit, where the, open every day, call for private appointment or call for times or something. I like the idea of maybe bringing those back. I don't know if we have any of those laying around, but we can get some figured out.
Colin, can you write that down, Mr. Noya?
Right. How about instant private showings?
Yeah. Open every day. We could get in trouble with Inslee or end up in the news for breaking the open house rule. But yeah.
Times.
Okay.
Interview. Yeah.
Great concept. I love it.
Cool. That's why we're here. Again, you got to realize there's going to be, lots of agents who just don't make it to the side for different reasons. That means all these years, they put these databases together. There's going to be a lot of clients out there to be had, right? Who need your support, nurturing support and counseling along the way. So what are you guys saying to some of your sellers as far as educating them on the market, stats you're showing them? What are some of the things you're explaining to them that helps them give them a calm in listing right now?
Go, John.
One thing real quick. So on that topic is right now, like George was saying, there's like a handful of people, and a lot of people have said this, that people are like waiting for the environment to get better, and there's going to potentially be this big wave. So the thing is that the buyers can make their decision way faster than a seller can get their house on the market. So we don't know when the consumer confidence is going to change, but I know one thing for sure is that if you're on when that switch happens or that line goes up, you're going to have the better shot of selling quick and not being on when there's 10 other homes for sale. That's your competition. So I would rather be on there and be patient now to be there when people are ready to go, because we don't know when that's going to be. And trying to time it, like, good luck, right? We can't time that. We don't have that ability. So for me, it's like patience. They're going to come. It'll be all good. Hold firm. Don't get crazy on like slashing on your prices and all that stuff, because all of us have the opportunity to keep the market strong. So that's one thing that I'm talking to my sellers about is, it's okay. If you don't need to sell tomorrow, just get it on and go.
Who else?
It only takes one.
Good stuff. Who else?
Paul McKay taught us to call when you're in a multiple offer situation. Paul was calling the agents who are under contract. So if it's Bradley and George and Ramon all bringing us offers, that we call the agent who did the last closing transaction to see how their follow-up was and their communication is, so that we're bringing that to the table. For one, it's good for karma. And it's produced, those that stay in good communication. It helps the seller at least know up front, if you're able to say, this may be the highest buyer, but in interviewing the agent who bought this, it may be that we free fall. We may not know anything, and I can't force them to give me an update if it's not subject to financing. So that was a great hint that we learned from Paul.
Okay, cool. What else are we saying to our sellers to help get in alignment with where they are, put them on the market or whatever? Rosie.
So I've been saying there's no way we can predict. It's an unpredictable time. But what I can tell you is what's happening right now. And right now, here's the statistics I provided you. Here's the stats on our own team of how we're moving listings and how we're getting buyers to be attracted to them. I can tell you the facts that are happening right now. We have no idea what's going to happen next. But it seems like during this spring, early summer market, we're going to have some relief where people are going to be out and about a little more, and we're going to have some time to be able to sell them. But then take on to what John By just said, but you want to be on before that. So let's get ourselves out there before that. When everybody else decides, okay, now that we can move about, put my house on the market, you got more competition. Right now you don't have as much competition. And who knows what's going to happen when it comes to fall. Number one, it's an election year. So with all the frenzy and chaos that might be happening, and the virus might come back and rear its ugly head again with flu season starting up in fall and winter, and no vaccine until springtime. It's either now, is my opinion, or next spring. Pick which one works for you.
Yeah, totally good.
Yeah, I think also too that, we do have some great market stats to share. So it's really easy to pass along good news right now, because the supply and demand ratio between buyers and sellers is so, in most zip codes, is really in the seller's favor. So, it's not like you have to get very creative to be able to come up with good news. There's all kinds of it out there.
What stats do you like to use, George? What do you leave?
I use the ones on Matrix, that just show, the bar graphs that show number of sales versus number of listings, number of pending sales and that. And, those, when I'm pulling those for different properties, 9 times out of 10, they're really positive for the, I tell people it doesn't really matter how many buyers and sellers are transacting. It matters what's the ratio between buyer and seller. And right now, the inventory is low and there's a lot of buyers in the market. Like I think John was saying, it doesn't take much for a buyer to transact right now, whereas a seller, it takes a lot more thought for them to come to the market. So I just think that there's a lot of great news to share. And what I feel like is it seems like every week the momentum just gets stronger and stronger. It seems like the sort of the shock and awe, I think if Rosie mentioned that's kind of come and gone, and people are ready to get on with their lives. And if they have any level of motivation, they're doing something. And it just seems like it's building. My phone is ringing more and more.
The spring and summer market is just starting up,
George, I use that market snapshot thing a lot too. When I started about 4 weeks ago on the 17th, March 17th, we started tracking just in an Excel spreadsheet. I broke it down by week, and then we can see how many new listings, how many pendings, how many closed, all the stuff that's on there. We started doing that on a daily basis. So every day at 4 o'clock, my assistant goes on, checks what the numbers are, right? And then updates our spreadsheet. So then we can see then what are the weekly totals, right? So then I have a great conversation piece and this is just for all of King and Pierce County, but I have a great conversation piece where I can tell my, prospective sellers, like, here's, what the number of new listings have been the last 3 weeks, and here's what the number of sales have been, and the number of sales has been outpacing the new listings, right, every week. So we're getting, so it's a way to kind of take the market snapshot, but have it be kind of more of a story going back over the last month too, which is good.
Yeah. On trend graphics, it does today's stats in a section as well. So it'll give you like April 1st till April 21st, or up until whatever day you run the report compared to that same span the previous month. So like we have a listing appointment today for a condo downtown, and like so far for the month of April, there were 144 new condos listed, whereas last month there were 354. Usually there would be a lot more properties coming on the market right now than last month. So it's a good sign to kind of motivate them. Hey, we need to get on the market now because look, there's no competition. Pending sales are down a little bit. There's like 50 less pendings, but there's 3 times less new listings. So the trend graphics today's stats has a good one. So you don't have to wait until like a week after the month's complete for the MLS to publish it. It'll give you up to the date.
Hey, John, bye. You know that video you do every week where you show the pendings and the...
Yeah.
So you show the pendings and the new listings?
Yep.
So why don't you it's about a 2-minute video, a 1-minute video. And
I'm very basic. I do not have the patience like my man Josh Hall. He's taught me a lot of good tricks over the years, but I've gone old school, and I literally screenshot at 8:30 every Tuesday morning for my weekly update that I do that morning that goes out to everybody. So I got this from my buddy Jake, who's on the news. He always did these things where he like put up numbers to get people like click on your videos. Like it's not just my face, because they see me all the time, like, and then I talk. So there's like new numbers all the time, but I just do King, Pierce, and Snohomish County new listings for that week. And then I have the stat on how many there was, either positive or negative. There's the exact same amount week over week for the last 2 weeks, which is interesting. It's just single family resale. And then I show how many pendings. There is 1,552 pending, which was up 237 from the previous week. So the same amount of listings, and we're selling more and more every single week, right?
Old school, baby, I love it.
So it's just, I write it down like with my big ass Sharpie, and I just do it, and I have like these are my monthly stats right here on my card deck.
A lot of old schools coming back. People are picking up their phones now and they're reading and stuff. But that's just, I look at every week, just because it's kind of fun to watch and it's quick and easy.
Yeah, and it's quick. Anybody can do it. Like we just have to do this super simple stuff, and just, it's all about action, right? And be in front of people. Stole one out of Bradley's book. Like we are posting like every single thing, like every sale, when it goes on market, when it goes pending, when it closes, like flooding it, because I think we have a responsibility to get it out there to tell people that activity's happening. Yeah. So I think it's on us to rally the troops, because all of us doing that stuff is building confidence in our clients. So like,
you guys got to realize this is the top 5% of our industry, top 1% of our industry. And sometimes I know you guys are all humble. You don't understand that. You got to embrace this right now. But one of the questions that came a couple times, kind of dovetailing into John, is how do you get the word out, like proof of success and asking for business without being tacky? So what are some of the ways? Okay, we're talking about some of it. How are you asking for business right now on a call without being tacky? How are you flowing into that? Robin, you're good at that. You got some verbiage. You had some Tom Ferry verbiage. Or what are you doing to ask for business, if anything?
I'm getting a good response with texts, and you can cut and paste it. So if it's Rosie, I'd be like, hey, Rosie. And then I put a little heart or star, whatever. And then I cut and paste the same email or same text line. And it basically says, I know these are crazy times and I wanted to be here to assure you that any question you have, I could be here to answer for you as best as I can. Most of my clients like a few minutes set time where I could reach out to you. So let's set a time to just connect. And that is nice because in my schedule's set up with, appointments during the day. And it's amazing. People have the same questions. We are sharing that same data. And if I get stuck, I'll be like, that is a really good one. Let's reconnect tomorrow at 2. And those connections, by the time you've built the bank, you're able to ask for the withdrawal. So I've talked to them, I've calmed their nerves, I've answered their questions, and that's when it's really easy to simply say, you know, I'm so happy to be able to help you the way it sounds like I have today. Who do you know that I could be able to help as well? You have a friend or someone who's also nervous? Because I would give them the same time.
Okay. Anybody else? What are you doing to social proof or ask for business?
Well, I'll be the first one to admit that I am really good at calling the clients every Tuesday, whether they're in the car or they're coming to the market or they're in transaction. But I do not do a good job of asking for the business each week. So I have personally been trying to work on that just because, you know, the lead is obviously super low. I think a lot of you guys on the call know that like open houses was kind of my team's bread and butter, and that is dead. So I just keep telling people, like, you know, I have grown my business, you know, year after year after year, you know, off of a model, which is, you know, I get all of my business from referrals to past clients, and that more than ever, like, I'm a small business and I really need them. And I know that I have obviously shown them that I can do it. And, you know, I obviously did it yesterday and I actually got a seller referral from a brand new client, which I think is amazing. But it's definitely hard for me because I'm a giver, not a taker. But I think just being super honest, you know that like tonality is everything when you're asking for referrals. But for me, I'm just letting them know that like I love what I do, and that obviously the market changes. A lot of small businesses are going out. Like I don't want to be one of them. So if they can just be there, you know, be my ears and eyes, and if an opportunity presents itself, like the best way to do it is just you know, a group email or a 3-way text. And most people have been super like, of course, Brad, absolutely. But for me, it's just not something that's in my comfort level. So
What else you guys doing to ask for business and social proof? Bye, go ahead.
So one thing is that you got to remember is I hope everybody on this call right now has been tracking their leads fairly good over the last couple of years. Like you got to go back, like your old lead trackers, like people were so like instant gratification world. Like if they haven't called me in the last 30, 60, 90 days, like they're out of sight, out of mind. Like you got to go back. Also, if you delegated leads to your team members that you have not connected with personally, you need to take all those back and try to convert those, right? Because it's a fresh call, it's a fresh face, and you don't understand that a call from you is way more powerful than a call from your team member. So take back the old leads and help your team members convert some of those. So try to just plan a different strategy around the people, that names and numbers that you already have, because it's hard to get those new names and numbers right now. So, but the people that have raised their hand in the past that you just forgot about could be ready.
I have a question for you, John. And as far as new leads, obviously you've got a big team. Are you still delegating your leads out, or are you now more than ever? Because like for me, I'm like, I will not give a lead to a team. Like I'm making the first connection, I'm converting them, I'm booking the damn appointment. And then once I get a commitment, then they get to go off. Are you just letting them do the lead follow-up?
I'm for sure way more in the upfront right now than I have been before. When the lead quality count is down, like you have to jump in and close them and elevate your team member, you know, super, super high. I'm not taking on a bunch more clients, but I'm for sure fielding a lot more inbounds and making that introduction stronger than ever.
You tee them up.
Yeah, tee them up high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, out of curiosity, John, how many transactions did Alec put together this last month or the last few weeks?
Well, both of the guys have been pretty slow the last couple of weeks, but they got a lot of people in the car. Prior to this, like they were perusing.
No, but they've been kind of slow the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so there are two. They've both done 1 or 2 each in the last 30 days.
Okay.
But they're all out shopping, so I'm not
because of lack of inventory. Then you think?
No, it's
combination.
It's a combination of everything,
Yeah.
and two, like I'm taking on more. I'm taking on more now than I have prior because it's important for me to keep the doors open. So is some leads that I would not have given, that I would have given out right now. I'm keeping some personally right now.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for sharing all the marketing ideas. What I did was I order 1,000 masks. I donate 500 to the senior center, and I call my database and ask if they need any masks. So I deliver about 25 to different past clients, whether buyer or sellers. And even though some they don't need, but it was just great connection for me to connect with them. So it was really great. If anyone needs some, I will bring some to the office.
Great. How did you order them? Where did you order them from?
I ordered them through my client has an import and export company. So they were made in China and they were certified. So they're the real good one. So if anyone needs any masks, please let me know. I'll bring some to the office and I'll leave them with Shy.
Hey, can they order more, Jenny Lee?
Not right now. It's probably double the price. When I ordered them about 3 weeks ago.
How much are they about, do you think? How much did you
It was about $600 for 1,000.
Oh, wow.
Yes, right now they're saying about 1,200.
Yeah. You know, one thing you guys can't forget in all this
12,000.
that we're talking about, most of your sellers are buyers, right? It takes
Whether buyer or seller.
But it takes a crisis to get to 3% interest rates. It took a crisis 12 years ago. It's taken a crisis now. So most of your sellers are buyers. Don't forget that fact. Their motivation is now, they got options and choices now. This too will pass. We got a ways to go. But as you're going through all this presentation with sellers and all that, and of course you guys are really good at this. I'm speaking to the buyer here, is once they're, whatever their motivation is to move out of town, here, there, whatever, that buying power is crazy. Like John By said, when you go back to your old leads, some of those people can afford the house they want now today. They couldn't afford it last year when rates were closer to 4.25. So you got all kinds of opportunities out there now. It's just all in the call, you know? So you just kind of, that's kind of where it's going. So asking for business seems to be for some okay. For George, you ask for business?
Yeah, I was gonna jump in on that. I also think that right now is you just don't know where people are at. I mean, some people are working and doing well, and other people are really in a desperate place. So I think that really it's just more about connecting with the people and letting them know that you're there and just checking in on them. I don't think this is really a time to really be grinding people for referrals. In that, you know, you typically, if you ask people how they're doing, they usually respond and how are you doing? And then, you know, you have an opening to be able to tell them what's going on. And I just tell people, you know, I'm really thankful that that we're essential and we're able to, you know, work and we're functioning and the real estate market's really, you know, performing well. And I just kind of give them a little update, but I think people will remember you more and how you'll have way more impact if you call them with no agenda other than to just check in on them and see how they're doing. That's I think that's the biggest winner right now because they'll remember that.
Yeah, coming from care and support and
absolutely
now
more than ever, you know.
Win, what are you doing with your clients and your calls?
Just all texting right now. And before, when I was making calls, I probably get maybe in my database 1 out of 12 that would respond. And now I get about a 60% response just by telling them what we're thinking about them, sending our prayers and good thoughts their way. How are you guys doing? Just, you know, letting them know that we're thinking about them.
Hey, Moose.
Yeah.
You there? There you are.
I'm here.
Yeah. So what are you seeing out there, and what are you doing with your calls and your clients these days in the Seattle market?
Yeah, I am just calling and touching base and just connecting. I do also have, I just got some masks last week, but a lot more affordable than Janie's. I was 70 cents each for mine.
Right.
So I got 500 of them. Cost like $340 or whatever. And, you know, homes are still coming on, and just like what Rosie said, you know, why am I not getting any? I feel like I'm definitely not, you know, one of the things I wanted to ask is, one of my questions earlier for everybody is, you know, where I'm at, it feels like people are they're a lot more picky, or they're slower to act, and they're a lot more techie too. So, you know, and I'm seeing more lately when I'm tracking, I do see a lot more, you know, Redfins that are coming on. So more discount stuff. So I got to find out a way, or if you guys can give me some strategies in regards to going after more farm stuff. I did write down the email, what you guys were talking about earlier, and how to get more emails and videos. So I want to work on, you know, more marketing. But I also noticed homes are just it's still really fast here.
So your question is how to get more seller and buyer leads, or what are you?
More sellers, really.
More sellers. Okay.
Yeah. And how to really go after more sellers who are in my farm that I don't know, which I'm going to use the email, or how to go get the email list where Rosie and Brad shared earlier. So that's on my hit list.
How else do you get more sellers, guys?
One thing, an idea I got for you, Moose, is that if you got some active buyers that are in there right now, just start hunting for your buyers, you know, like, you know, finding those specific properties, and, you know, it might even be, you know, dropping off some, you know, masks, you know, like, hey, we'd love to show your home, and I'll make sure that, you know, my clients are safe and protected, and, you know, or some spin or something that you can deliver, you know, might be a good way to do that, you know, to try to find those people, because it's much, like we all know, it's really easy to prospect for other people. Like, or, you know, I can pick up the phone all day and talk to people. If I got a client that's like ready to go, that really, like, I can make something happen. So, you know, that might be something to energize and make that call to action, or that call, or, you know, not necessarily a door knock, because, you know, people might keep you away or whatever, but, you know, there could be something there.
All right.
I'm hitting it hard on social media. That's where people are right now. They're at home and they're on social media. And so I'm hitting them where they are. And so be on your next door app or any neighborhood Facebook group, and be able to speak terms of, you know, giving back and how to help. Like I've been doing tips of, you know, maybe you can get rid of your PMI at this point, or how about, let's talk about educating you about forbearance, or PSE is giving a break on people that can't make their payments on time, and offering good tips and value and advice. And by the way, we've got these places that we just sold, so market is moving. Not in your face tacky. That's what I wanted to hear from you guys today, is I don't want to be in your face tacky that, look at us, we're sell. But I am having sprinkling in a proof of success of sales, but I'm also trying to be cognizant of people that don't want real estate agents out there selling. They want them to not be on the essential list. They want us to stay home, and just trying to give the message that there are sales that are happening, but not in your face, but also giving them the value, how to help out in the community.
So what's your question, Rosie?
How do you do it without being tacky, in your face? Sold. Pending. How do you do it?
What are you guys doing to get the word out that you're doing real
I
estate?
can share a little bit maybe about that.
Thanks.
When I do, I try to just share market stats as opposed to sharing my own stuff. It seems like it lands better, you know. So it just I mean, you're probably aware of that, but I just find if I'm telling people about the market and telling them, you know, all the good things that are going on in the market, it's not just about, you know, it's not about me or my team or whatever. And, you know, if you're to share, you know, all the stats for Maple Valley and just all the good things that are going on in Maple Valley, you know, that's going to land for people much better than, you know, if it's just center focus.
Good idea. Thank you.
Thing too, like I know we obviously post a lot of, like, you know, just sold, just listed, under contract, whatever, but it's not about the price, it's not about the city, it's about the individual client's need. And so giving them a little bit more insight to, you know, these guys had an 800 square foot condo, and, you know, they needed to get something bigger, they're working from home, you know, like all the meaty potato stuff, because that's the stuff, like, people will relate and give grace when they know that they had no choice, or, you know, they had to sell their home because they, you know, one lost a job and they were grateful that they had $200,000 in equity and they were able to use it as a ticket to kind of, you know, restart. I mean, can we end I think we all can agree that if we didn't have equity in our homes right now, it would be a complete shit show. But I think just going back to like the story of like why they're transacting, why did they decide to buy right now? Because some people have the fear of like, I would never get out and buy, but then they see the nice message of like, okay, well, they're practicing safe, social distancing, and there was a need. They took advantage of the low rate, they're whatever, or like I've a couple.
Brilliant. I love it. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but even like, a lot of these loan, these mortgage companies, they're not doing down payment assistance and bond. It's like, I don't know, like we have like 4 buyers right now that they thought they were on hold. And I'm like, no, Guild Mortgage is doing down payment assistance right now. Like I need you guys all, you got Ryan from Caliber working with this Guild one. We got to make it happen. This is their opportunity. A lot of the buyers that are in that first time home bucket have lost their jobs. So like, again, it's just storytelling and giving the real facts to the day-to-day operation. I mean, people need to know that we're not out here selling because we want to make a living. I mean, we do, but we have to help these people. It's our job in the community to service.
You're serving. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, we're serving, we're not selling. That's kind of what we're doing.
We're serving.
So who else has a topic they want to bring up, Ross? I got a few more here.
Hey, Sol, can I speak to Moose's question there about finding sellers?
Please.
So what I've found with a lot of people holding off on listing is that I've been able to capture people that I probably would have missed before, just due to them putting their plans on hold. So I was able to connect with them, whereas before they may have already had an agent they were thinking about using. So I think John mentioned, going back through your leads and calling through some of the stuff that you would consider kind of older, you're going to bump into a lot of people that have plans. They may have considered or thought they had an agent picked out, but it was 45 days ago and they haven't heard from that person or whatever. So I've been able to capture a few people that I probably wouldn't have got otherwise if they just, gone on the market like they normally had planned to. So there's a lot of gold in the depth of your lead flow. And if you go back in your lead flow, you're going to find a lot of people that are sitting on hold that may still be open to talking to you.
That's a good point. A lot of agents have been disconnected from everybody. So George, you had a list of a few more items. There's one more you want to pick out on your list to me?
I forgot what my list was.
You had ideas for showing homes and getting in and out of the car, wearing gloves.
Oh yeah. Well, I just was.
Then you had best options for virtual tours and floor plan.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of curious to know like how you guys are handling if you're out there showing buyers or if you're instructing your buyers agents. But I seem like I'm going through pairs of gloves like crazy because every time I get out of the car, I put on a pair of gloves, I go inside, I'm handling my car, my key, the keypad, whatever. And then before I get back in my car, I'm taking all that off. But I'm still handling my cell phone. I'm still handling the keypad. So, I don't know if I should be disinfecting this stuff or what, but it just kind of seems crazy. I feel like I'm going through gloves like crazy.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be wearing gloves? All I do, and I'm probably not the right guy to be asking this question because I'm the guy who's sitting in the office today. But I'm just using hand sanitizer, a little thing of hand sanitizer in my car, and before I get out, I use it. And then when I get back in, I use it. But I'm like, if I put a glove on my hand and then I touch my phone and my key in the key box, and what the heck's the difference? I just need to clean it off. Yeah. But I'm certainly not the right guy to ask.
Anybody else? What are your buyer agents doing out there?
I put the glove on at the front, so I get the key out. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about exposing other people. So I guess that's the other factor. So I get all the stuff out of the key box, and then I put the glove on, take the shoes off, go inside with the mask on, turn everything on, open everything up, run out of the house and let my clients go in, and then undo what I've done. But one glove, because I've got a broken hand. You only need one glove.
So a question you had here, George, is what other technology are you using to help your business and clients during this time?
Yeah.
One, and what is the real difference between Zoom and Ring Central?
Or is there a difference? I'm signed up for Zoom, but are you guys using Is there any difference between the two? Because Ring Central, it seems like it says on the bottom it's powered by Zoom. So when you're using these platforms to present and talk to people, is one better than the other? Or?
Anybody using Ring Central out there?
I've never.
Everybody. Hey, Moose. And everyone's using Zoom. It sounds like.
No, I use Ring Central.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead. And how you like it?
I use it because my ISA in the Philippines, I want her number to show as a 425 prefix.
Got it.
Ring Central allows you to set your different prefixes on your phones for what's incoming for your clients to see. So with that, I'm on Zoom, GoToMeeting, and Ring. I pay for all three of them.
Okay.
It just is what people like because I really want to meet them where they're at. And it's not that big of an expense. So not that much difference. It's just if I don't use it, it's like anything, right? You've got to Ring Central with someone every once in a while so that you stay able to connect that way seamlessly.
Okay. So it seems like Zoom is more of what people are using these days, or used to, that's for sure, you know? And then, so you asked a question about ideas for virtual open houses and other unique ideas on marketing properties.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out to people to see if they're having any luck with any of that virtual open houses, and or, you know, is there any particular, you know, virtual tour or floor plan, you know, different ways in which we can get people information about a house, which, you know, obviously is really important today.
Who's got that?
I use Matterport for new listing coming up for new constructions, and builder likes it. I haven't launched it yet, but builder is very happy because they test it out, and it's good.
Yeah.
Rosie, you've been doing a lot on, what have you been doing, Rosie? You got a lot going on with that part of it.
I do. I've been really pushing that because then we can meet them back in their social media homes again, into their living rooms. So I was at first doing, because I never really liked Matterport. I felt like it was clunky. But I was doing my cell phone video to walk them through, or professional walkthrough video. But now I've got all my listings on Matterport because I see that they've made some differences from when I looked at it last. The technology has changed and it's not as herky-jerky as before. So now I'm embracing Matterport. It's pretty cool because it's HDR photography. It's wide angle lens. It's got the right lighting. And they can actually stop in a room and look up, look down, 360. They can measure the room. So I've been really playing that up and putting that on social media, whether it's the professional video walkthrough or a cell phone video or a Matterport, whatever it is, bring that into their living rooms onto social media and say, we have this open house. And I will be standing by on the waiting by to answer questions from 1 to 3 on Saturday, and here it is. Take a look at it, and I'm waiting to do it. That's a virtual open house.
Okay.
You're also doing, it's every day is an open house, but it's just another gimmick, so to speak, that if they want to be able to talk to me, they know they can call me at any time. I'm standing by from 1 to 3, and I'm doing my other stuff, and then a call comes in and I answer the question and set up a tour. Does it work very well? I don't know, definitely not as good as a physical open house, but it's one more tool in the toolbox. It's one more virtual way. It's another way for my people out there to understand, as a seller who wants their home listed, look at Rosie, what she did.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Listing tool. Robin, go.
Yeah.
Oh, I was interviewing agents for a client who's going to also be purchasing up in Bellingham. And selling a house up there as well. So as I was looking at people's tours for finding, good agents up in Bellingham, it was interesting that the Matterport listing in Bellingham had the virtual walkthrough, not the one that we're used to where you drive it, but where you touch no keys and it naturally walks you through. So I reached out, and if you guys could too, to Carrie Lama, she's our John L. Scott corporate person for Matterport. I'd love to have more people pushing on her. She's like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know Matterport could do that. Let me see if I can get that for you. Well, more,
Can you explain that again? I don't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
why don't
Well,
you guys continue and I'll see if I can pull it up on a screen and share
So-
screen, but it's, can you?
Sure.
I saw Shai post something or shared something yesterday that Matterports for 1,500 square feet or less is like $49 now from John L. Scott.
That was a little bit of an error.
Oh, okay.
It's $49 if you do it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's
what I
unlimited
wanna
square
do.
footage. If you want to have a photographer come out and do it, it's $99 to have them come out and do it up to 1,500 square feet.
Which is the same price as Ben.
I must have missed a memo somewhere. So you're saying we get a discount if we go order Matterport through John L. Scott?
If you go to johnlscott.com/Matterport, yeah. So if you go johnlscott.com/Matterport, it's been in the Kent North office for a little bit. Renton got it about a month ago.
We've had actually since it was a year ago at the a party in Bellevue, and they gave us it's an app, so you schedule it on your phone.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But not me?
Where you been, Rosie?
I didn't know.
So how do I go about getting that or trying that out?
johnlscott.com/Matterport, and that will it'll give you a couple options. You can go in and you can schedule it. And just a quick update. If you go in and you hit schedule and you put in a time, that time's not guaranteed. It's just a scheduling request. It goes to Carrie, the same person Robin was talking about. And she gets the request and she will either set up a time for you to come pick up the camera and coordinate with me or somebody at the office for you to get it, or they will coordinate with the photographer for you to go out and do that. If you have a photographer that you like to work with and they are familiar with the Matterport system, you can check out the camera from the office for the flat 50 and you can take it to the photographer and you can work out whatever price you want with that photographer, assuming they know how to use it.
Any questions on that one? Go ahead, Bye.
I don't have a question on that, but with regards to while we're on the open house topic, do we right now, since we can, I feel like this is probably not acceptable, but I'm just going to ask because might as well. So we have all these showings at one person at a time or one group at a time, toppers and all that stuff. So I know we can't advertise open houses, but like, who's to say to like, can we, glove everybody up and put people through one at a time, like at a normal open house? Or is that like just totally off? Like, is that just like the governor said that, or I'm just,
MLS. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just would see it hard to market it. I mean, most people see open houses on like Redfin or Zillow.
A-boards.
Yeah, just on your A-boards or whatever, and if you don't get a bunch of people, like, and if it's one person at a time, that's fine. Like, hey man, I'll stripe off 6 feet apart and make it look like Costco. Shoot, right? Like, how about some demand going?
Yeah, I get it.
I think that's going to be our next phase of when open houses come back. It's going to be 2-hour window, stanchion, one agent outside, one agent inside, 6 feet, one client at a time. Here you go.
It'll be a guinea pig process. They don't want that thing to spike up too much. So just curiosity as we're getting wind down, on a 1 to 10, 10 being high, how good are you now at interacting with your database, everybody, on a 1 to 10, 10 being high? Rosie, 1 to 10, 10 being high.
8.
Ramon.
8.
Win.
Say a 6.
Brad.
I'd say 8.
John.
I'm gonna say 6.
George.
5.
Chelsea. Nick. Chelsea.
I'll 6.
Moose.
All right, 6, 7.
Paul.
I'm in La La Land at 8. There you go.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah, 5, 6.
Casper.
Personal phone calls need to step up.
Casper.
I'd say that the conversation is totally different, but I'd say I'm at like a 6 or 7.
Robin.
8. Solid 8.
Josh.
3.
What? Wait.
Janie. Janie.
I am at 10.
So here's the deal, guys. I want you to tell you. You guys got to get this part. You are in the most uncertain time this country's ever been through. You have clients that are all over the boards, from they don't know if they have a job tomorrow, if they can pay their bills tomorrow, to they have a job and they're ready to buy or sell. You have to meet them where they are. Your hard work and your database has given you the lifestyle you have right now. Your hard work and your database will help you accomplish the dreams of tomorrow. They need you now more than ever. And this is when you guys step up and you got to lean into it. So if you haven't called everybody in your database about refinancing, have the conversation, I'm not saying a text, leave a voicemail, maybe a text, whatever. You know, you guys, this is your time. There's people, I'm looking at the top people in our industry, not just in the office, the industry. This is your time. But you got to realize your database, between the business they've given you, the referrals, the confidence they have in you, they need you more now than ever, just even to listen, just to listen to them. And they'll open up and whatever, and to align with them and move them down the path. There's never been a more uncertain time in America than now. In my 45 years of doing this, and I've been through ups and downs and ins and outs, the virus thing, when you can't write a check to make it go away, that's where you are. You need a health, this is a health thing, which takes a vaccine or some kind of medical solution. That's okay. Our industry, there's always thousands of people who are going to buy and sell. Most of those people are coming from your database. What percent of your business is your database, Rosie?
I think it was 53%.
Ramon? Quick answer.
To database, about 85.
Win. Database, what percent?
Oh, it's probably about 85.
Brad, newer to the business, what percent?
75.
John?
Yeah, 85.
George?
50%.
Hey, Chelsea?
85.
85. Moose?
All right, 75.
Paul?
75.
Castro?
90.
Robin?
Probably 80. We're working
Josh?
75-ish.
Janie Lee? Database?
About 85.
Okay, so all you guys are really high up in your percentages. Now we got to step up and you'll increase your business just because, right? But the next few months is go time. Because if you look at the average age of your sellers in the last 5 listings or so, they're usually older, right? So most people this time of year want to move. My friends would be looking to move now, except most of them don't realize, like I said earlier in my conversation, that there's business happening and that we're in business, that we can go out and work. They don't know that stuff. So I know that, you know, for me, if I was in the field knowing what I know today, I would be postcarding, right? I know that's old school, but someone's got to read it, and people are home opening their mail. They might dust it off and wash it off and wear a glove. They got to throw it away, right? I don't have to read your email. I don't have to look at your Facebook. I might not do that stuff. I am going to read the mail. So as you look at your budgeting for the next 90, this is your spring market. This is your high percentage time. Get clarity on where you want to spend your money in the next 90 days. May, June, July, people are going to be out. They're little, you know, buyers are there, sellers there. We know we have a shortage of inventory, so we know that's for a while. But what do you got to do is maybe step up your game with your database. Now, some of that might be gifting, right? I'd be looking at gifting, right? Just because they're going to remember it now. And the holidays are not going to remember it because everybody in the holidays is gifting. Now, during this moment of time when they're home and they get a knock on the door or a drop on the door from a UPS or whoever, they're going to remember that stuff. We're using it, whether you're using a Costco gift bag or basket or Harry and David or whoever, this is the time you got to show up. They're going to remember how you made them feel during these times because we don't know what any of them are going through. Some are more mental about the virus than others, besides everything else that's happening. So I think you guys got to realize your percentages are already high in your database. We got to step up, and the percentage is only going to go higher. But if you're only giving yourself a 5 or 6, or calling your database, I'm emailing them or text, I'm not talking to them, then you're not hearing what's going on. Or Zoom, I can see, I want to see what's happening. I want to hear emotions. This has been the most uncertain time in America. And then you have the oil thing going on. So you can fix it with a check, right? The last downturn, they got the interest low, market started going, boom. Here you got all kinds of people with jobs. The virus is going to keep us a while. And then little by little, we'll get the contractors out there and all this. But your database needs you more than ever. You know, now we got to step up to it. We got to step up to it more than ever, us and our team. Some of you had your teams calling your bases. Who was doing that?
Yeah.
So what were you doing? They were calling, who were they calling? What were they saying?
My team calls the team's database. I'm calling my database.
Right.
So I even have my staff who are not producers for database. I want them all to let them know we are doing business. And it's not about asking for the business, asking about how they're doing, connect them. They're going to say, and how are you doing? And they're going to have that open-ended conversation to be able to slip in, wow, you know what? Our market's going crazy. We're still doing business because there's a shortage of inventory, blah, blah, blah. So it opens the conversation up. But, and I tell my staff, you know, there's personality traits that if they wanted to be a producer, they would have done that instead of being in the behind the scenes. So I'm not forcing them if they're uncomfortable to do it. But what I am telling them is I need them to at least connect with their database. This is the time to say, how are you?
Right.
I'm asking you to sell. Just check in.
Brad, you said you are too?
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. The girls are calling their individual, you know, top people,
Yeah.
checking in, and just.
Yeah, we're just coming from supporting, caring, right? That's what we're doing. You gotta realize you're probably not gonna do any events this year, right? I mean, chances are that's not happening. Or maybe you go later in the year, who knows? Go ahead, Rose.
Recycle event, I think I can get that accomplished because a lot of people are spring cleaning and the donation places are shut down right now and they're doing all that stuff. So I was actually thinking my recycle event can be reshaped where it's just one in, one out if the recycle people are able to be there. And it'll be in July, August when we might have an ability to move about more. So
some of you guys might want to do a food drive right now. I know the Kent schools are running out of food. So some of you guys might want to do a food drive with your database and kind of really give back. And I know we always waited to the toy drive. I'd be doing food drives right now or something that is in alignment with what is going on in the world today on this kind of thing. Robin, did you find what you wanted to share?
Yeah, I sent it to everyone via chat.
Right.
And if you go there, there's a link in the chat that'll take you. It's just, that's the walkthrough from Carrie Lama.
Okay, so that everyone got that then?
Rose, you obviously wouldn't serve food or anything like that, right?
Say again?
Sorry, my question was for Rosie. I was just gonna say, you wouldn't be serving any food or.
no, and so you know what? That saves me a ton of money. I won't serve food. I won't have the bouncy house. I won't have the face painter. Forget all that. Just I'm serving you. Come on in and dump your recycle stuff. And maybe even play that up more and have, can the big blue truck be there? Can they?
If Northwest Harvest can be there, Rosie.
I was just going to say that, have a Northwest Harvest tub that's going to be there that they can drop that off. I'm just going to kind of give it a different spin.
So we're reinventing ourselves, y'all, right? So you guys are going to have, so what next 90 days is going to be active. You guys are going to be busy. You got to be intentional. We got to be out there. But I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, because you guys are great at sharing, collaborating, giving back, and there's no way we would be where we are today as a team without you guys. And I just want to say thank you. Words can't express how thankful I am watching you guys and being a part of all this. And you know what? You guys are going to take it to the bank next 90 days just by just being you. So thank you all. If you guys want to do this again, let me know. Have a great day.